When it comes to hair, I always think of it like wearing nature's crown upon your head. Its stylization adds dimension, beauty, movement, and architectural interest to a somewhat solid mass of a portrait. Lack of hair has its own aesthetic beauty, creating strong architectural shapes. However, structured hair masses really interest me with their complexities of shape and texture, as is seen in Botticelli's portrait of a young woman. Many shapes and variations in line create the structure of a tightly woven basket, whereas his Birth of Venus depicts long flowing locks similar to long flowing ribbons. When rendering my own hair, I think of each tendril as though it were a satin ribbon, reflecting light draping over the form of my head. When designing and rendering hair, questions that I often ask myself are the following. Number 1, what form does it follow? Number 2, what is the direction that each tendril falls? And number 3, how is the hair stylized? What is its texture? Does it absorb or reflect light? Although I'm academically trained, I often look to other art movements for inspiration. In this case, I looked at Eng's portrait. I love how he renders hair. It's important to consider the direction of the light source, the direction that the light falls upon the form, what the shape of the form is, and in this case it's an oval. I consider the location of the highlight or specular reflection, along with the bedbug line or the terminator line where the light and the contained shadow meet. As an artist, I'm particularly interested in the area of raking light. In this case, it's located to the left of the terminator line, always located in the lights. It reveals the texture of the object being rendered. In this case, one sees the texture as smooth, dark, pulled back hair. I consider these concepts when rendering my own hair in graphite, depicting some fine but subtle striations in my bangs as I design each lock in the lights across my forehead. As a classically trained artist, I find much reverence in observing from nature. While creating this self-portrait, I refer to myself in the mirror. I have to, as we are self-isolating, and we are in the middle of a pandemic. I am interested in compressing the values here in order to create a fairly light, feminine, and ephemeral depiction of myself, because the nature of this self-portrait is so dark to me. It is entitled Caged Bluebird, Self-Portrait During the Pandemic. Because of my love of art history, I always look to the masters for influence. In this case, I felt inspired by 3 works by Raphael because of their light rendering and compressed value range. As an artist, I often look to the past to see what path may reveal itself going forward.